But yeah, we're gonna start with Kanye West, Mr. Kanye West. So, I think the beginning of this week or a couple of days ago, Kanye West took out an ad in the Wall Street Journal, and he's written an apology, and the apology is to those I've hurt. So in this apology, he talks about the fact that he was in a car accident 25 years ago, and his main focus and the focus of the people who were helping him was around his physical health and his jaw and everything that went wrong with that, and so his mental health was neglected, including a injury he had to his frontal lobe. And so he says that the frontal lobe injury that he had was undiagnosed until 2023, and part of this injury led to him having what is now considered bipolar. And so in the apology letter or the journal, whatever you call it, he talks about his experience with bipolar and how he was manic for a long time, and how being manic stops you from feeling like you need help. When people are telling you there's something wrong, you think they don't know what they're talking about and that you're in your right mind. And so one of the things he did when he wasn't in his right mind was he printed t-shirts with the swastika symbol on it, which for those who don't know, that was the symbol that represented, like, I guess, the Aryan race at the time of Adolf Hitler, when he was leading the genocide against Jewish people. And the Aryan race are like those who have blue eyes, blonde hair, and they're considered like pure. So it's really anti-Semitic, racist, and prejudice, discriminatory, definitely, yeah. And so he says that he did this while he was in a manic state, because in a manic state you tend to act recklessly and have a poor judgment. And he says that he's really sorry and that he's not a Nazi. He also apologizes to the black community in the journal, or in the letter, and says that the black community are the foundation of who he is. And then when I was doing some research, because I know he's offended the black community so many times, but I couldn't quite remember what it was. So I went back and I saw that he wore a White Lives Matter shirt with Candace Owens, and then he doubled down on it in an interview. And I watched the interview this morning and I was shooketh, yeah. So when the interviewer asked him, why did you create a shirt that says White Lives Matter? And he says, I put it on a shirt because they do. White Lives Matter. White lives do matter, sorry. It's as simple as that. And I was shocked watching that in 2026. I can only remember 2022 when it actually happened, like the effect. You're looking at me so intensely. Like, I'm a bit scared.
Just listening, because some of these things, like, it's from reminding me too.
He also wore a MAGA hat and was cozying up to Trump around that time. But he says, he's very sorry, and that right now he's focused on taking his medication, exercising, and clean living. Did you see his post?
I did read the post.
What did you think?
I'm always on the line of thinking, of course, it's so important to talk about mental health and to talk about the impacts. And then, like, we don't fully know how it can impact people's well-being and stuff. But then I also am on the side of, like, obviously his words and his actions have hurt so many people, so many different communities, and I feel like we can't ignore that. We can't. So it's kind of like, I guess when I do, I'm always in two minds, because I'm always an advocate for, like, talking about mental health and shedding light on it, talking about it. But I'm also like, how people choose to take what he said, that's entirely up to them. If they want to forgive him, that's up to them. If they don't want to forgive him, that's up to them. Because at the end of the day, you can't tell people how to feel. But I do think a conversation is important to have about, like, mental health. So I'm kind of like in those, like, I want to understand, but then I'm also like, but you've hurt a lot of people, so, like, I'm like, no,
I agree. I really feel like, even though the things he did was when he was in a manic state, I think the pain that he's caused is still real. And so we can't ignore the hurt you've caused somebody just because you weren't in your right mind when you did so. So I agree with you. I feel like people have choice in it. I don't think he should be... People can choose whether or not they want to accept him or engage with him. And I guess his cross to bear is, like, whether or not people embrace him or not. When I was reading it, the first thing that bothered me was like he specifies what he did to the Jewish community in terms of like the t-shirt with the swastika on it, and even though he apologizes to the black community, he doesn't actually specify what he says. So I was like, because even the fact that I went to do my research, because I was like, what did he actually do? I was like, why didn't he say anything? And so when I was looking into him resurfacing on the internet, he's now signed to a record label, Gamma, I think they're called, or something like that, and he's releasing an album in March. So I was like, okay, are you specifying and apologizing to the Jewish community because the Jewish community have a lot of wealth and a lot of investment in the media industry? Please, guys, don't, because I've heard that. You got to be careful what you say. Forgive anyway. Are you saying that because they hold a lot of power, and so you're trying to appease them so that when your music drops, or maybe your record label told you have to do it? Are you trying to make sure you've done the right thing, and you maybe don't care to give the black community the same level of the same apology because I guess relatively to like the Jewish community we don't hold a lot of power? Or is it just because it was more recent? Like, I'm like, how genuine is your album's coming out? How genuine is this? Because if it was me and I had done a lot of wrong, I would come back, do my apology, and go about my business. I wouldn't attach it to like
something.
Yeah.
I think whenever celebrities come out with apologies and stuff, it's so normal to question their authenticity, because essentially they are a brand. Like, they're there to make they need to make money. Do you know what I mean? But I feel like with things like this, I'm just gonna like sit back and watch it play out, because if like the album comes out and then there's like he's doing like super like promo this, promo that, I'm probably gonna take the seat that like it was just to try and like get people to talk less and whatever before his album drops. Like, I'm gonna assume it wasn't authentic, because it could be PR, there could be so many other things attached to it. That doesn't mean to say he's not sorry or that he doesn't feel for that and that things didn't happen. But I do think timing is a bit interesting because he's got a project coming out. So I think it's just kind of like, I am questioning him, because why now? Like, I don't want to take away from the importance of talking about mental health, but why specifically now? Is it because you want to utilize it to continue your career, or is it because you genuinely want to apologize now and you feel sorry for all the things that you've done? So it's really hard with the way that I feel like society is now, where you want to believe someone's being authentic, but because a lot of things are fabricated, you can't take things at face value. You have to question it. You can't just accept that, because it happens a lot. Like, people put things out just to continue discourse. Some people don't care about they don't care if people are talking badly about them or like talking about good things.
So long as they're talking. No, I agree. And do you know what else? I think that before he lost his collab with Yeezy, he was a billionaire. Unethical, by the way. But I think if you have so much money and you're aware of your being bipolar, because he knew he was bipolar before this situation, if I'm not giving out my money to those who need it, the very least I'd be doing with my resources is like, guys, I have bipolar. I'm known to be manic at least once a year. These are the things I need to be put in place so that should you guys see me acting a bit funny, should this happen, somebody needs to be taking my phone. Somebody needs to be controlling my social media. I need to have like, what's it called where you have a
handler?
Not a handler. There's something in, it's like in law, when somebody, a retainer, that's the word. Like, so you have a lawyer who you keep on retainer so that anytime you need them, you have access to them because you're constantly paying them. You should have a retainer for like a mental health facility or something, so that should these things happen, you can, like if it's your first time with a manic episode, then of course grace. But I think I've watched a little bit of the Kardashians and seen Kim talk about his manic episodes, and they divorced in like
quite some time ago.
Now. So like this is something that you've been aware of, and if you have all that money and all those resources, the very least you could have done is like put things. I think for me, if I had that amount of money and that amount of people who can help me, that's something I would do to mitigate circumstances like that. Do you know what I mean?